shut it off. Well, not the video I was expected to be making, but as you might have heard through the video there, we have developed a bit of rod knock dolt. So, went out for a bit of a cruise the other day. Nice easy cruise, but then when I finally leaned on it on the last little stretch back home, when it changed into fifth, and it just completely cut out, and I thought the worst. I thought I'd thrown a rod out the block, but thankfully it fired back up, nursed it home, and yeah, so it looks like we've got to pull all of this out, see what I've damaged. Don't. So got to take off all the front bumper, grille, oil cooler, radiator, intercooler, turbo kit, inlet manifold, blah blah blah. Get the engine on the stand, which my mate Nathan has kindly lent me because John's got my one down the workshop and currently has a customer engine on it. Managed to pick up some tools from the workshop earlier, so we're good to go. But yeah, is what it is. Not sad about it, let's face it, these things happen, and look at that, weather is stunning today. So yeah, is what it is. So without further ado, let's crack on, start dismantling this thing, and hopefully get it out by the end of play today, and then we can start investigating what's going on, and hopefully I haven't done too much damage. Hopefully. We shall see. Alright, start taking this thing apart. Right, so about an hour in so far. All the plumbing's disconnected more or less. I'm just about to start taking the turbo off. I need to take the turbo off so I can get the downpipe off, because at the minute I can't twist it to get it out. So yeah, but that's the carnage so far. Plenty more to come out. Right, let's get the rest of this out and pull the engine out. back to it. Round 2 today. I had to call it off early last night to go and pick up my engine crane that a friend was borrowing. So round 2, let's get this engine out. Obviously turbo kit's all gone, pretty much everything else is disconnected more or less. Still need to disconnect a few little bits and pieces, drive shafts and whatnot. I need to drop the oil and yeah, let's get cracking on from where we left off yesterday. Well, the oil's not looking glittery at this point. Doesn't actually look too bad in the oil. Okay, right, we'll let this drain out and see what's hiding inside it. Well, she's definitely hurt, boys. You have to ignore some of the crap inside here because I didn't clean the pan out before emptying the contents of my sump. But there's definitely some rod bearing material in there. Flakes of it there. Much of that you can actually pick up. But yeah, ignore all the big lumps because that's just crap that's fallen in the pan from being in my garage. So yeah, definitely hurt. Let's pull the rest of this engine out. And typically it starts raining. The great British weather at its finest right now. Obviously I'm enjoying myself too much, so yeah. Right, anyway, let's give you a little rundown of where I'm up to in here. Right, you'll have to bear with me because this is so awkward trying to show you anything underneath here. But gear selector linkage is now disconnected, both the hubs are disconnected, and now we're working on disconnecting my equal length drive shaft there from the block. So after that we should be able to disconnect the gearbox mounts, engine mount, and start dropping her down. Fingers crossed I've got everything disconnected and nothing will get snagged up. So leave it with me, I'm disconnecting all this stuff now. I'm not going to try and show you it because it's a nightmare trying to get a camera underneath there as well as myself. So I'll pick you back up in a little bit. Here we go then. The only thing left connected now is the oil cooler, but I'm going to take that out with the engine. So it's all bare out the front, all turbo kit gone, inlet manifold all gone, all the space in the world down the back there. So yeah, that's all ready to come out now. Just need to get the engine hoist attached and away we go. I forgot how much of a nightmare it was trying to get this inlet manifold in and out, but it's well worth the aggravation. Look at it, lovely piece of work there. This was made by Zach at Zoo Speed, so anyone that wants a custom inlet manifold, hit him up. I'll put a link to his Facebook page in the description. But Skunk 2 90mm inlet throttle body, sorry, custom fuel rail, custom inserts, because this is actually the RS2000 sandwich plate that he built off from. So he made custom inserts for that, for the 1000cc injectors. But yeah, that is that. It's got a Ford Mondeo idle speed control valve on the bottom there, all my vacuum ports and blah blah blah. What I might do, now this is off again, I might actually have this powder coated and the fuel rail, just to make it look a bit more trick when it all goes back in, because as someone else says on YouTube, might as well build it better. So lots of room for improvement on this thing. All the wiring is an absolute mess, so whether or not I'll tackle that whilst it's all apart, I don't know, because I've got a fair bit going on already with cars, haven't I? So yeah, we'll see what happens on that one. Right, get that thing sorted out, rig it up to that thing, pull it all out, see what destruction I've got inside my engine. Let's show you what we've got in terms of engine mounts on an RS2000. So you've got one down here, that big block there, that's one of them. You've got two 18mm nuts. Where am I? Got two 18mm nuts just inside there. And then you've got rear gearbox mount down here. They are 15mm, I believe. So you've got two of them. Undo them. You've got this front gearbox mount here. I think they're 15mm as well. So you undo them from the chassis leg. And then under here, you've got that rear support mount, which is held up to the subframe by two 18mm bolts. Obviously I've already done that one, hence why it's hanging down. So we'll undo all them. Well, attach the crane first, undo all of them, and then everything should just drop down hopefully. And with any luck I haven't actually left anything connected still, but we should find out. Do it. Well, what a nightmare that was. Just because I'm so lucky, it turns out that my jack on the old engine hoist has decided to give up. But we're out. So I need to split the gearbox from the engine and then put the engine on a stand, flip her over and see what's occurring. There we go. That is the main reason for me losing all my oil. Bloody rear main seal. So need a new seal at the very least, and more than likely some rod bearings. Right, let's get this on the stand, and then I've got to somehow try and get it past the escort and out to my van outside to take down the workshop. And there we have it on the stand, ready to rock and roll. I'm not going to flip it over right now because I've already made a big enough mess all over my driveway. So I'll get it down the workshop and we'll flip it over, take the sump off and see what the damage is to the rod bearings. But in the meantime, if anyone's got any suggestions on a good product to clean the engine block and the gearbox, it's absolutely covered in CV grease, oil, all that other good stuff. And I also need to clean up inside the engine bay. It's a bit of a mess inside here. So if you've got any good products that I can use to spray in there and degrease everything and whatnot, then put it in the comments below because I need to clean all this stuff up. But also, whilst I've been doing this, it looks like I was pretty much near the limit of my clutch. So I'm going to have to get a new clutch. And yeah. They say things happen for a reason. So I think all of this has happened for a very good reason, because it turns out that my engine mount is actually split. And it's starting to split on the other side as well. I'm not too sure if that's picking up properly in the camera. But not only has the engine mount started doing it, but also the front gearbox mount has started doing it. So if you've got Vibratechnics mounts on the RS2000s, then I'll be inclined to go over them and make sure yours aren't doing the same thing. I'm sure they're probably alright on a standard RS2000 because it's only what, 150 foot-pounds of torque or something like that, whereas a van with that engine has got over 400 foot-pounds of torque. So these are probably not actually designed for that much power. So I'm either going to have to get replacement ones like for like, or go back to Ford ones. I'm not too sure yet. I'm also going to have to get new oil feed line and a new sandwich plate seal, because that one's actually split. So I need to get a new one of them. Gearbox wise, everything's all cushy, just need to clean it all out. But that is it for now. What I'll do, next time I pick you up, I'll be down the workshop and we'll flip this thing over and dive into it and see what's actually occurring. So, see you down the workshop. And as if by magic, we're in the workshop. So huge shout out to Dean and Steve for helping me lug this thing in here at almost 12 o'clock last night, because I had to get it out of my work van because I needed to go to work today. But now is the moment of truth. I'm going to pop you on a tripod, I'm going to undo this sump, and we're going to see what's inside it, and then we'll flip it over and check what damage I've done to all the rod bearings. Right, 10mm nuts on here, bolts even. One more bolt. Always one more bolt. Alright, so we're looking inside this sump. And you can see a couple of little metallic-y bits on there. But it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I mean, even in the sump don't look too bad. It's not like a ton of loose fragments of bearing all over the place. So, right, bear with me, I'll empty this out a little bit and then we'll have another look. Alright, here we go. There's all that glistening goodness that we've been wanting to see. Loads of bits of rod bearing, look at all of that mess. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Absolutely tons of it. So, flip this thing over, start pulling some caps off the rods and see how much damage is in there. And here we have it. I've just blasted it all off with a bit of brake cleaner just so it's not absolutely caked in oil. Knife edged crank, hopefully we can salvage that. But looking at all the rod ends, that one looks good. Number 2 looks good, number 3 looks good, number 4 looks like it's had a bit of heat. So it's probably looking like that one. I mean, there's no real movement in it. Obviously you're going to get a little bit of side to side, but yeah, there's no back and forth movement. So we'll pop the cap off this one and number 1, see what's occurring underneath them, and then we'll spin it over and do 2 and 3 as well, just for good measure. Oh, they even smell burnt. Right, don't look shocking inside there. It has left the bearing on the crank. I don't know if you can quite see that, but I think it has spun ever so slightly, only ever so slightly. So we'll pop that off. Yeah, she's not happy. No, that's not good. I mean, the crank don't feel bad. I can't get my nail into any grooves. I don't know. I'll have to have John have a look at this tomorrow and see what he reckons, but I don't think that's too bad. Maybe I might need to have it reground, I don't know. I don't know what the tolerances are on having a crank reground, so I'll have to talk to John about that. But let's crack off number one, see if there's anything occurring on there. Again, left the bearing behind, but all inside the rod looks good. That bearing don't look much better than the other one, to be fair. So yeah, so that's that one. Again, crank don't feel terrible. Can't get my nail into any ridges or anything, so hopefully that's all good. I'll spin around and get to number 2 and 3. And that one looks really good. Not really a mark on that one. Bearing looks pretty alright-ish. Well, maybe not. No, that one's shot. Again, crank seems pretty decent. Number 2. Don't look too sorry inside there, that's pretty good. And bearing shot, so no good. But again, crank is not too shabby at all. Well, there we have it then, guys. Engine is sort of torn down, I guess. Now, I don't think the crank's that bad, but then I've never built an engine before and I'm no engine builder, so I could very well be wrong and it could be completely torched. But we'll have to wait to find out tomorrow. Or I will, you'll have to wait to find out in the next episode. But place your bets, comment in the comment section below. Do you reckon that's dead, or do you reckon I can have that reground or get away with not having to have it reground? I don't know. But that's going to call it a wrap on this one. Hopefully you've enjoyed this, whilst I've been quietly dying inside. Obviously the van's down for a little bit now, plenty to replace on it. Obviously I need a new clutch, need various new bits, engine mount. I mean, do I weld up that crack or do I just buy new ones? I don't know, is it worth taking a chance on it? But yeah, that's all stuff to think about for the next episode. So yeah, not what I was expecting to be filming this week, that's for sure. But the next episode will be on this. So it's been long overdue and I need to get back on it. So yeah, but with that in mind, have a great weekend. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Peace.